Hi, I'm John. It's scripture time. I'm reading the book of Nahum from the King James Bible, and I'm blessed to have my little scripture cat here, Gracie, on my lap. It's an extra treat. She's usually not up where you can see her. She's usually down by my feet. Chapter 1, The Burden of Nineveh, the book of the vision of Nahum the Elkoshite. God is jealous, and the Lord revenges. The Lord revenges and is furious. The Lord will take vengeance on his adversaries, and he reserves wrath for his enemies. The Lord is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. The Lord has his way in the whirlwind and in the storm, and the clouds are the dust of his feet. He rebukes the sea and makes it dry, and dries up all the rivers. Bashan languishes, and Carmel and the flower of Lebanon languishes. The mountains quake at him, the hills melt, and the earth is burned at his presence. Yea, the world and all that dwell therein. Who can stand before his indignation? And who can abide in his fierceness of his anger? His fury is poured out like fire, and the rocks are thrown down by him. The Lord is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble. He knows them that trust in him. But with an overwhelming flood, he will make an utter end of the place thereof, and darkness shall pursue his enemies. What do ye imagine against the Lord? He will make an utter end. Affliction shall not rise up the second time. For while they be folded together as thorns, and while they are drunken as drunkards, they shall be devoured by the stubble, fully dry. There is one come out of thee that imagines evil against the Lord, a wicked counselor. Thus saith the Lord, though they be quiet and likewise many, yet thus shall they be cut down when he shall pass through. Though I have afflicted thee, I will afflict thee no more. For now I will break his yoke from off of thee, and I will burst thy bonds in sunder. And the Lord has given a commandment concerning thee, that no more of thy name be sown out of the house of thy gods. I will cut off the graven image and the molden image, and I will make thy grave, for thou art vile. Behold, upon the mountains the feet of him that brings good tidings, that publishes peace. O Judah, keep thy solemn feasts, perform thy vows, for the wicked shall no more pass through thee. He is utterly cut off. Chapter 2, He that dashes in pieces is come up before thy face. Keep me munition, watch the way, make thy loins strong, fortify thy power mightily. For the Lord has turned away the excellency of Jacob as an excellency of Israel, for the empters have emptied them out and marred their vine branches. The shield of his mighty men is made red. The valiant men are in scarlet. The chariot shall be with flaming torches in the day of his preparation, and the fir tree shall be terribly shaken. The chariot shall rage in the streets. They shall jostle one against another in the broad ways. They shall meet like torches. They shall run like the lightnings. He shall recount his worthiness. They shall stumble in their walk. They shall make haste to the wall thereof, and the defense shall be prepared. The gates of the river shall be opened, and the palace shall be dissolved, and Huzzab shall be led away captive. She shall be brought up, and her maid shall lead her as with the voice of doves, tampering upon their breasts. But Nineveh is of old like a pool of water, yet they shall flee away. Stand, stand, they shall cry, but none shall look back. Take ye the spoil of silver, take the spoil of gold, for there is none end to the stores and glory out of all the pleasant furniture. She is empty and void and waste, and the heart melts, and the knees smite together, and much pain is in all loins, and the faces of them all gather blackness. Where is the dwellings of the lions, and the feeding place of the young lions? Where is the lion, even the old lion, walked, and the lion's whelp, and none shall make them afraid? The lion did tear in pieces enough for his whelps, and strangled for his lioness, and filled his holes with prey, and his dens with raven. Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will burn her chariots in the smoke, and the sword shall devour thy young lions, and I will cut off thy prey from the earth, and the voice of thy messenger shall no more be heard. Chapter 3. Woe to the bloody city! It is all full of lies and robbery. The prey departs not. The noise of the whip, and the noise of the rattling in the streets, and the prancing horses, and of the jumping chariots. The horseman lifts up both the bright sword and the glittering spear, and there is a multitude slain, and a great number of carcasses, and there is no end of their corpses. They stumble upon their corpses. Because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts, that sells nations through her whoredoms, and families through her witchcrafts. Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame. And I will cast abominable filth upon thee, and make thee vile, and will set thee as a glazing stock. And it shall come to pass that all they that look upon thee shall flee from thee, and say, Nineveh is laid waste. Who will bemoan her? Whence shall I seek comforters for thee? Art thou better than Populus? No, that is, situate among the rivers that had the waters round about, whose rampart was the sea, and her wall was from the sea. Ethiopia and Egypt were her strength, and it was infinite. Put and Libum were thy helpers. Yet was she carried away. She went into captivity. Her young children also were dashed in pieces at the top of all the streets. And they cast lots for her honorable men, and her great men were bound in chains. Thou also shalt be drunken. Thou shalt be hid. Thou shalt seek strength because of the enemy. All thy strongholds shall be like fig trees with the first ripe figs. If they be shaken, they shall even fall into the mouths of the eater. Behold, thy people in the midst of thee are women. The gates of thy land shall be set wide open until thine enemies, the fire shall devour thy briars. Draw thee waters for the siege. Fortify thy strongholds. Go into the city and tread the mortar. Make strong the bricks. Make strong the brick kiln. There shall be fire. There shall the fire devour thee. The sword shall cut thee off. It shall eat thee up like the cankerworm. Make thyself many as the cankerworm. Make thyself many as the locust. Thou hast multiplied thy merchants above the stars of heaven. The cankerworm spoils and flies away. Thy crown are as the locusts, and thy captains and the great grasshoppers, which camp in the hedges in the cold day. But when the sun arises, they flee away, and their place is not known where they are. Thy shepherds slumber, O kings of Assyria. Thy nobles shall dwell in the dust. Thy people is scattered among the mountains, and no man gathers them. There is no healing of thy bruise. Thy wound is grievous. All that hear the bruit of thee shall clap the hands over thee, for upon whom hath not thy wickedness passed continually. And I think that's it. Yep, that's the end of chapter 3 and the end of the book of Nahum. Until next time, God bless.